why building muscle when you're 40 is so difficult, but let's bring it back to how easy it was when you were 20. The 4 biggest mistakes that 40-year-old people make that makes it even harder to build muscle as they're getting older is sleep as number 1. They stay up far too late and work all the time thinking that that is going to help them get more done, but actually it makes them even more inefficient the next day. But it also makes a big problem for your hormones, because when your hormones are getting worse as you get older and you don't fix them by optimizing your sleep, you'll then be in a situation where your muscle mass is not growing to the point of how much you're training in the gym. So you end up training really hard in the gym, not seeing the progress that you should because you've just not got the sleep correct. To make this practical, make sure you get to bed at 10 p.m. and make sure you're getting a minimum of 7 hours of sleep. Number 2 is low protein. For many people, this is the biggest problem that they have because they don't focus on that as the stable part of their plate. They focus on their rice, their salad, and then they're left with a small piece of protein, which is not healthy for your testosterone levels, for your hormones in general. So then what happens is you're not getting the right amount of nutrients for you to build the right amount of muscle. This is also a nightmare when you combine that with training really hard in the gym and not seeing the results you want, which ultimately can be very frustrating because you're trying so hard to train, but you're not seeing the muscle grow. Number 3 is cardio. Doing cardio is absolutely fine, but if you have to make sure you're combining that with the right amount of resistance training throughout the week. But for most people, they don't. They are predominantly doing low resistance sports, or they end up running, doing triathlons, and not getting enough heavy weights into their training program. That doesn't mean you can't do cardio, but you could break it up into a basic ratio such as 3 resistance training sessions a week, which is heavy lifting weights correctly, and 2 cardiovascular sessions. Those could be long distance cardio, and they could also be interval cardio. Number 4 is alcohol. For most people, they'll socialize through alcohol. They'll go watch a sport, or they'll go meet friends and they'll have glasses of wine, and this causes a massive disruption to your progress. Because when you drink alcohol, this also messes up your sleep, which then has a low quality sleep, which then further ends up messing up your nutrition. And have you ever noticed the next day after drinking alcohol, your cravings are much higher? And then on top of that, when you go to do your training program, you're not going to be able to put the right effort level into your training. So I feel that this number 4 is one of the biggest mistakes people make, especially over the age of 40, when it comes to dropping body fat and gaining muscle.